WFLA Now, powered by 1-800-ASK-GARY. Here's J.B. Buno.
From the very beginning, it's always been about Gabby Petito and Gabby Petito's family. Today on WFLA Now, Gabby's parents joining us for a live discussion on the support that they've been receiving from around the world and how they hope to change the world through the Gabby Petito Foundation. Hey everybody, JB Buno here with you live on WFLA Now. Grateful wherever you are watching from, grateful that you're here with us on this WFLA Now live stream. Grateful to each and every one of our viewers who are joining us here today. We're going to talk in a few moments here about how you can be included here in our WFLA Now stream. We're going to be featuring some of your comments using hashtag HeyJB, as we do here on social media. And you can tweet along with us using hashtag WFLA Now and hashtag HeyJB. But let's get to, of course, why everyone is here. Joining us here is Gabby's mom, Nicole Schmidt, Gabby's father, Joe Petito, and of course, Gabby's stepmom, Tara Petito. Guys, thanks so much. A little bit late on the Zoom call. It is my bad because of Zoom is always tricky. Everybody knows that Zoom calls can get a little bit tricky so that we can all hear one another. Thank you guys so much for being really patient and taking time out of your day to join us here on WFLA. Now, we've been talking about the three of you and the entire family over the last 2 months. We've been hearing from you, seeing you, and now to actually have you here, it's just an honor, and thanks so much for taking some time out of your day to be joining us. We're going to throw some of those hashtag HJB comments here on screen momentarily, as we do here interactively on WFLA Now, but I want to just get started with each and every one of you, just to ask how you guys are doing. Nicole, why don't we start with you? You're joining us from Long Island. How are things? How are you doing today?
First question always gets me. It's hard. We are still grieving, and it's going to be a process for a long time. I know that. I think starting the foundation is a way of us grieving and getting through this. Some mornings I wake up, I want to save the world, and I know I can't do that, but I'll die trying. And that's Gabby's legacy.
I think that Gabby's spirit has really touched the world, and we have seen that through your words and how you have spoken so eloquently about your daughter. Tara, Joe, same question. How are you guys doing today, and how are you feeling here midway through November?
I cry every night. I stare at her pictures. So it's been very difficult. Very, very difficult. I have a 13-year-old son who is very close with Gabby, and he's having a very tough time as well. So right now, my focus is on him to, make sure he is okay, as well as help with the foundation in any which way I can.
So let's explain to people, we're going to be talking a whole lot about the Gabby Petito Foundation. And we know that here on the internet, and Nicole knows this, Tara knows this, Joe knows this, we know that there are a lot of questions that people have. There's questions that we're not going to be able to pose to the family today because they are, of course, being legally guided here through the process, and there are just some things that they do not want to talk about, nor would they talk about if they were posed the question. So we're going to be respectful, and I ask all of our audience members here on Facebook and on YouTube, Reddit, Discord, all the forums of the internet, we're going to be as respectful as we can to both Gabby's mom and dad and stepmother here joining us from. And Joe, let me ask you first and foremost, how are you doing, and where you're joining us from? Vero Beach, is that not correct?
Yeah, down here in Florida. Trying to stay focused on what we're doing with the foundation. That's been our driving force as of late, and it's going to do a lot of good things. So doing that, staying focused, researching, that's what we're doing, in terms of, trying to cope, trying to make a difference. So.
Well, we appreciate your time here today. I want to, as we do on WFLA Now, and people who have been with us here on live streams before, we're going to feature some of the hashtag HeyJB comments and questions that you have here out of the Facebook Live and YouTube Live comment section. To our Facebook and YouTube audience, hello. To those tweeting along, hello there to you. Hope that you're having a good day. Nicole, let me start with you. This story and your daughter's spirit, and as we have talked so much about Gabby Petito and what has happened, she has clearly resonated with people around the world. There was just something about her, something that really touched people around the world. You know better than anyone, being her mother, just as Joe and Tara do, being her father and stepmother. But the three of you, you all know how much Gabby meant to your family, and now to see the impact that she's having around the world, what has that been like?
It's very surreal, of course. The love and support has been the driving force behind us doing this foundation. It's like, without the love and support, I don't know if we'd have the strength to keep going. Everybody's just been amazing. I read all the comments, I get letters in the mail. It's just 100% love, love, love. And we need that. And I'm just so glad that her spirit is living on and helping people.
Tara, Joe?
We're very fortunate, in terms of the amount of compassion that we've been shown, from around the globe. It's been pretty wild. It's everywhere, and to see that, and feel that and read that, it's very helpful. It's very helpful, and like I said, we're fortunate for that, because social media sometimes is talked about in a bad light, and we haven't seen that. We've seen it, pretty positive, for the most part, which is awesome. So thank you to everyone.
And we're going to be talking a lot about, Joe, what you have been tweeting out about, Nicole, what you've been tweeting out about, Tara, you as well, how you have really tried to use this opportunity to do some good in the world. We're going to be talking about that here in a moment. I want to get to some of the comments that have been coming in on social media for Nicole, Tara, and Joe here. Sarah Hart on Twitter. #HeyJB, sending love to the family. They are strong in what they are going through. And then Dana Whitman from our YouTube page, joining us in the YouTube live comment section, #HeyJB, good morning to America's Daughters family. I'm so sorry for your loss, but want to commend you for your strength and following through with the Gabby Foundation. Let's talk about Dana's comment here for a second. I want to get, well, actually, hold on. One more just came in from Lou on YouTube, #HeyJB. Would Gabby's parents ever consider organizing? We'll come back to the questions here in a moment. Lou, we're coming back to you, but let's go back to Dana here. #HeyJB, good morning to you, America's Daughters family. I'm so sorry for your loss, but we want to commend you for the strength and following through with the Gabby Foundation. There have been people who have been asking about how this family could remain so incredibly strong throughout this process. It has been so tragic, obviously, what you have experienced, but you have shown, and I'm just using some of the words that commenters have used, Nicole, strength, grace, humility, bravery. When you hear some of those words used to describe you, what is that like? Because as Joe was alluding to, the internet can sometimes be a place where you don't see the nicest things said about people. But when it comes to you and your family, it has just been a glowing review from people that have just tried to follow the story and what you've been trying to accomplish with the Gabby Petito Foundation. What has that experience been like?
I'm just so grateful and thankful to everyone. Our hearts are filled with so much love, and I know it's hard to put into words, honestly. I'm really grateful to every single person out there that's giving us the support.
Tara, Joe?
So, listen, it's very humbling. It is to kind of see all that support and whatnot, but we're no different than most people out there. I mean, you see all the good things that people are saying. So, these are good people, and they recognize other good people, which we try to be, and we're trying to make a difference, which I think most people would be doing, and we're just trying to lead that charge in terms of, change, to make things better. That's what we're trying to stay focused on. And there's 6 of us, we get to lean on each other, so that you got to take into account too, that we are, we converse all the time, so that's important, having that type of camaraderie that we have between us. We all shared that bond. And so good things, hopefully will come from us being able to lean on each other and lean on social media and you guys, and hopefully positive changes will come.
When we read the comments online centered around Gabby, and as we do here on WFLA Now, we've read thousands of comments. We've been live for millions of people and reading those comments from people really around the world. I mean, we've had people from the UK, people from Australia, people from Asia, Africa that know your daughter's name just because the year is 2021 and we can access people in the palm of their hands so quickly. But when we read comments, and Joe, I'd like to start with you. The number one hashtag that I see is Justice for Gabby. We see that all the time. We've seen it on signage. We've seen it on banner planes flying around Northport, Florida with Justice for Gabby on it. We have seen it on your website, on the Gabby Petito Foundation's website with the Justice for Gabby bracelet. People have been asking over and over again, what actually is Justice for Gabby? And I'd like to give you the opportunity in your words to describe what Justice for Gabby means to you and to Tara.
Well, if we can save just one person, that would be justice. Just going forward, if we could, that's really what we would like to do, just save or help her story get out there so people know, that we care.
Yeah. So right now, the statistics show 1 in 3 women are victims of domestic violence or have been victims of domestic violence. When 1 in 4, 1 in 5 men, are victims of domestic violence. If we can extend those numbers from 1 in 3 to 1 in 4, and then 1 to 5, then 1 in 6, if we can extend that number, keep pushing that, so it's not as prevalent in terms of domestic violence anymore, that would be justice for Gabby. Making that change to help others. So, respecting everyone, regardless of the gender, that would be justice for Gabby.
Nicole, what does Justice for Gabby mean to you?
For me, it means preventing this from happening to someone else. If we can try and make that change, that's what we're trying to do here. And that's justice for me. It's helping others.
I think that's interesting because a lot of folks, when they use Justice for Gabby or they hear Justice for Gabby, I think that their mind is very much in the present as far as what happened to your daughter. And what you're saying, Nicole, is that you're very much, when you hear those 3 words, Justice for Gabby, you're thinking ahead. You're not thinking you're not looking in the rearview mirror. You're not looking backwards or even in the present. You're looking ahead as to how you can make the world a better place. Is that right as far as what Justice for Gabby means to you?
100%. It's about the changes that we can make. We can't change the past, but we can change the future.
Let's talk a little bit about the Gabby Petito Foundation with our first question. Lou, I did not want to leave you hanging. As we do, we try to get to as many comments as we can using hashtag AJB on Facebook, Twitter, and on YouTube here interactively on WFLA Now. And Lou on YouTube, hashtag AJB. Would Gabby's parents ever consider organizing a fundraising event for Gabby's foundation? I think we'd love to help and show our support for her and what you guys are doing. I know through various text messages that we've all shared, you guys, that you've talked about different ways that you're going to really use the Gabby Petito Foundation for good. But clearly out there, Joe, there's been a lot of people that want to step up and help the foundation. Can you just put into your words what you want to do with the Gabby Petito Foundation and how people will be able to help? Listen, we're coming up on the holiday season. It's all about giving. How can they give and help out the Gabby Petito Foundation?
Well, listen, we want to, we have the foundation website up. We have, there's a donation button there. You can definitely click that and donate, and you can just follow the prompts and what would need to be done. We are going to schedule more and more fundraising events, for the foundation. Remember, we're only 30 days in. We're still learning processes and stuff to make sure everything's done the right way. And we're going to continue trying to fill gaps and voids where the help is needed. The more we learn, the more we can help. The more we can help, the better things will be.
Tara or Nicole, would you guys like to comment on Lou's comment about how you plan to use the Gabby Petito Foundation for good in the world, and also too if there's going to be any fundraising or how people can help? I think that's really what it comes down to.
We have had a couple of fundraisers. There are wonderful people out there that do small fundraisers for us, and they donate money, and that's wonderful. We just had, I don't know if Joe wants to mention, the Islanders jersey was raffled off, signed, and I think that was in Tampa last night.
Yeah.
You want to mention that, Joe?
Yeah, so a big congratulations goes out to Nicole Eno from North Carolina. She actually won the autographed KC Cizikas jersey. It was a benefit that was, helped to raise money for the foundation that will put towards good use, for other, like I said, voids and gaps in the systems that need help.
And Joe,
so congratulations to Nicole.
How exactly did that come to be? Because a lot of people in the comment section are asking just about how that got organized, and great story.
So my sister-in-law's brother-in-law is a huge Islander fan. He does a meetup. It's called the Isles Meetup in Tampa. And the Islanders donated the jersey for him to raffle off for us.
That's terrific. And I know that there will be additional fundraising opportunities in the future, and a lot of folks that are commenting here with us that want to help out. It's of course on the Gabby Petito Foundation website. Let's get to some of the other comments that have been coming in. How about from Facebook? Let's go to Facebook from Jesse, #HeyJB, sending big hugs to Gabby's family and want to let them know with my birthday coming up, I will be asking for donations to the Gabby Petito Foundation. Gabby and her family touched my heart. When you read a comment like this, Nicole, I can't even imagine what that's like being Gabby's mom, to read that kind of a comment and the emotions that stirs up inside of you. But what do you say to Jesse and others that are really calling for there to be contributions to the Gabby Petito Foundation?
I am so grateful to them. We have big plans for the foundation. We meet with experts all over the country right now. We're trying to take baby steps and learn ourselves. We have a lot to learn, and we know there's changes that need to be made. And to have these just people so generous, I have no words. Honestly, the gratefulness is just, it makes me really happy.
Joe, Tara, let's just talk about the social media component. Joe, you are quite active on Twitter. You are sharing out a lot of stories of missing persons across the country. You have really used this opportunity and the following that you have received to use it as a platform to spread awareness to other missing persons cases in the country. Let's just talk about the social media aspect of this. I know that there have been times you and I have had conversations specifically about how you and Nicole have been watching some of the live coverage on WFLA Now as far as following this story, and there's been such a massive social media component. I almost compare it to a snowball rolling down a hill with just how much international attention this story has received. Joe, you're clearly kind of, to make a football analogy, picking up the ball and running with it let me put it to you this way. There's a lot of families that deal with grief, families that I have covered in the past, that when they deal with tremendous tragedy, when they deal with tremendous grief, they cannot cope with their current existence, and instead of walking into the spotlight, they choose, and appropriately so, it's because it's what's best for them, to retreat from that spotlight. You are walking towards it and trying to use that spotlight for good. Can you explain to our audience why you're using your platform now on social media to really do good in the world and spread stories of other missing persons cases?
I think everyone should have the same type of exploitation of their need. They need help. They need to be brought home safe. What better way to use my platform that I was given for that? I want nothing to do with the spotlight to be on TV. That's not what I want. I want to see everyone have the same type of help that we receive. And if that takes for me to push that out there in terms of, asking for help to find missing, people, by all means, I'll do that. That's the least. I'd be doing a disservice to the people by not doing that. And I want to make sure Gabby's looking down saying, you know what, I'm proud. So there are a lot of stories. There are a lot of stories that need help, and you guys can't cover them all, right? But, the more we can get out there, that would be awesome. I'd love to see, in between commercials on news organization and stuff, post up, at least a quick flyer of someone missing, someone local. That'd be awesome. Things that can help and really make a difference. get the pictures out there as much as you can. And because that's what helped Gabby, and that can definitely help another. So let's do what we can.
Tara, what is the Twitter audience and people talking about you and your family around the world? What's that been like with that platform now?
Well, you definitely feel the love and support from everybody, which is amazing. But we definitely would like to utilize that platform, like Joey just said, and get it out there, that there are other people missing and other people need justice just like we did or do.
Let's get to the next question that just came in a moment ago from Amy Davis on YouTube. And I'll give all three of you the opportunity, whoever would like to answer this question. Of course, feel free to hop in here. Amy Davis on YouTube. It's a question, #KJB. Could the Petitos and Schmitz tell us more about what the foundation actually does? Does it offer mental health and counseling or shelter, or is it just awareness? Amy here asking about what the MO is for the Gabby Petito Foundation.
Joe, you want to talk on that one?
Yeah. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to fill the gaps and voids, what's going on with, where we see fit. We're going around talking to shelters, we're talking with police, we're talking with rescue, teams, with professionals, with therapists that know the ins and outs of what's needed and where the resources are best needed. When I was talking with us, there's only 1,400 shelters in the United States, and do we need more shelters? Yes. But is that the most prevalent issue right now? No, it's actually more in terms of resources, therapists, attorneys to help people leave, financial advisors to help people figure out how their money works and the best way, for them to leave. There's so many things, food, clothing, there's so many resources that are needed, and being able to fill that void with whatever we can do, that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to help other organizations with resources and bring awareness to the issues. That's the big issue.
Education is also a big factor. You want to go on that too?
Yeah. Yeah, for prevention, we are working with people out there that, work with prevention education, trying to get it into schools. It would be our number one goal from a very young age on. I think prevention education will help prevent us from needing all these shelters someday. We have to start while they're young, and it's not in schools, unfortunately, and it needs to be.
Joe, I know that you had a conversation recently, you being a Florida resident, and Tara, of course, both of you being Florida residents in Vero Beach. I know that, Joe, you had a conversation recently with Governor Ron DeSantis. Clearly, it goes beyond just the foundation. You're proactively trying to, be a spark for change in your home state now, your home state of Florida. Do you care to share anything about your conversation with Governor DeSantis, or specifically what you would like to see accomplished in Florida, what you'd like to see in your home state?
It's not the home state, there are things like the NamUs website. I'm not going to discuss who I'm talking with or whatnot. You know what I mean? I'll let whoever I'm talking to handle that. There are things that should be done, in my opinion, like that NamUs website. It's utilized by 10 states. There's 2 other states that have legislation for it. I think other states have it on a voluntary basis, but no one should fall through that crack. So that's, I think that should be for all states, and that's my opinion, because it's a federally funded, site. So if the site works because it's federally funded, there were studies to show that it works. I mean, all states should be taking part. No one should not be. If you're missing, you should not be. You should not be on it. Everyone should be taking part in it. So things like that just would make sense in my head, and that goes for all the other states that aren't taking part. Why aren't? That's, if it's a service that helps, then by all means, everyone should be taking part.
Yeah, and we were discussing an alert for, people ages 18 to 64. There's nothing for that age group. It would be just like the Amber Alert or the Silver Alert, except it's a different age group. And we hope to bring that kind of change to the missing persons.
Yeah, this should be something like that on a national level. You know, like that would be important. You know, Texas has what's called the clear alert, which is 18 to 64. And it should be something similar, you know, call it what you need. We like the teal alert, you know, but it should be out there to help that specific age range, because there is nothing.
What would it mean if it was something to the effect of a Gabby alert or an alert that was instituted at a federal level? Is that sort of what you're trying to accomplish, Nicole, or what you would like to see instituted?
Yes. If a 25-year-old person goes missing and they meet certain criteria, there should be an alert put out, just like an amber alert for a child or a silver alert for an elderly person. You know, there's an alert for mental illness, people that are, you know, lost. But what about these people that are in between? There's no problems with them, but if a family member knows they're missing, there's got to be some kind of alert system so people start looking immediately.
And we deal with it all the time, Joe, here in the media when it comes to missing persons and really working in tandem with law enforcement so that missing people get the exposure and the attention, of course, that we can use social media. Social media is such a powerful tool when it comes to locating you know, an individual who is missing. And, you know, we touched on it a moment ago talking about Florida, but this is a story that one of the reasons why this story gained such momentum, in my opinion, at least very, very early on in the process, was because we were talking about a story that spanned multiple states. Of course, Gabby leaving from Long Island in New York, going through to Wyoming, all the way across the country through to Wyoming and Utah. And of course, it having Florida connections, the obvious Florida connections as well. So it's not, to your point, Joe, it's not something that's really going to be solved, in your opinion, at a state-by-state level. It's really going to come down to something that we can do across the country, correct?
Well, yeah, I mean, think about it. How fast does it take to go from state to state to state? You know, so, I mean, you can drive from New York to Pennsylvania in, what, a few hours? You know what I mean? And go through New Jersey to Pennsylvania, you know, there's many ways to go, you know, so if it should be on a national level, you know, that's, again, my opinion, you know, but there should be something to fill that void, and there's not right now. Like I said, only one state that I know of has it, and there should be multiple. You know, it doesn't make sense why it's not. It really doesn't, especially with the fact that you can transfer states pretty quickly now.
We cover it all the time in the news. People go missing in one state, or if there's a potential kidnapping or an abduction, it can quickly go from jurisdiction to jurisdiction very quickly, not just crossing city lines, county lines, but state lines. For us in Florida, we're always very mindful of what's going on with missing persons cases in our neighboring states, such as Georgia, or even all the way across the panhandle on Alabama, in Alabama. So it's very interesting to hear you share a little bit about something that can be changed. Joe and Tara, let me just ask you, if there was an alert, a Gabby alert or a Gabby Petito alert, what would that mean to you if that was some change that you could be partially responsible for?
Great. You know, I don't need to hold responsibility for it. You know, it doesn't even have to be named after Gabby. It'd be great if it could, but just the fact that we get something to help the people, that would be the good thing. You know what I mean? Again, the system shows to work. So if the system works for 17 and younger or 65 and older, why wouldn't it work for the 18 to 64? Right? So call it what you want, you know, give credit to who you want. That doesn't matter. It matters to the families that have these individuals come home safe.
Nicole,
that's where the good thing comes.
Nicole, you know, one of the things too, technology really catching up with the times, or the times rather catching up with technology is what I really meant to say. And that when an Amber Alert goes out, it goes out to phones, and phones start buzzing if you're in a public place, whether you're like in a fast food restaurant and an Amber Alert goes out, everyone's phones all of a sudden go crazy and make that very loud noise, of course, to get people's attention. Can technology also, we're talking so much about social media and how people know Gabby's name and know you and know your family through the spread of information on social media and through technology. Is that also too something that needs to happen as far as an alert being created, is just using technology to our benefit, using technology for good in the world? We talk The internet, of course, there can be down the rabbit hole of the internet, you'll find some really strange places with some strange things being said. But the internet and technology can be used for good, can it not?
Oh, 100%. Gabby's face spread all over the world in 24 hours. I think that's the first thing people need to do is get their information out there on social media. You know, it's not going to happen without that. You have to push and push and push and ask everyone to share. And it was used for good in this case. And you know what? Yeah, there's bad people out there. It doesn't really matter. You got to ignore that stuff and focus on finding your loved one.
Let's get to this next question, or excuse me, comment that came in from Twitter from Cody Edie, #HeyJB. I would say thank you for using their heartbreaking situation to bring attention to missing persons cases in a way that hasn't been done quite like this before. There's an attention and focus on those missing thanks to Gabby. And with that, she has absolutely touched the world. Let's get to another Gabby Ella, #HeyJB. They may not be able to get justice for Gabby, but with the foundation, people can get justice through Gabby. I'm seeing a lot of comments just like this one here from Gabby, and we see the blue heart emoji quite a bit in our social media comment section. Allie, #HeyJB, besides donations, besides sharing, what can we as a community do to help with the foundation? Who would like to take this one from Allie in our Facebook Live comment section?
Listen, what we can do is talk about it. Bring it, talk about domestic violence, have it a conversation. The statistics of domestic violence have been stagnant for such a long period of time. To expect a different result would be, wrong of us, because we're doing the exact same thing. So we need to talk about it. We need to bring it, it's not the dirty little secret anymore. It's an issue that plagues, every country, every gender. It goes, there's no color that's not affected by it. There's no economic level that's not affected by it. There's no gender that's not affected by it. It's everyone gets affected by it, all across. So have the conversations, have the tough conversations, and let's bring change. Let's discuss, do #JB, and what ideas do you have that could, help, lower the statistics, get them, let's get rid of domestic violence. What ideas are had to do that?
Tara,
yeah, and
Nicole,
making people aware that if they go to our website, if they're looking for help and they say, all right, I'm going to go to the Gabby Petito website, the foundation page, what do I do? I need help. And there is a literal help button on that page. You can click on it and it will guide you to the right resources. If we could save you ourselves, that's what we would love to. But there are people that do this, and you can go and get the help that you need. We're also going to open a platform for people to share their stories on our page. It could be anonymous. We just think that sharing your story makes people realize they're not alone, and it will help others.
Nicole, so many people have really been touched by what you have said in press conferences and previous television interviews that you have done. There's something you've been referred to as America's mom in recent months, just because of how you have handled this with such grace. What do you think is the reason that so many people look to you as this source of inspiration with how you have handled yourself through such a terrible time in your life?
That's a hard question. I'm just trying to do my best. I am just going with the flow. I want to get the awareness out there and help prevent this from happening to someone else. And that's it. I'm just trying to do what I can do.
A lot of the comments that are coming in are extremely supportive. Kimberly, #HeyJB, they did make a difference, and it's just the beginning. They need to know this. A lot more heart emojis, and then we'll go to Adam Silverstein on Twitter. #HeyJB, sending infinite love and the biggest and warmest hugs to Gabby's family. Gabby's spirit shines eternally, and she truly changed the world. My question to the family: how can we all honor Gabby's life and legacy in a way that's authentic to the person that she was? This is a beautiful question from Adam. And I'll jump off of this by just saying I know that you've received the Let It Be tattoos. That's something that that has meant so much to you. And I've talked with you off camera and behind the scenes at great length about just how much Gabby's spirit and how much her message has really resonated with people around the world. But back to Adam's question, how can people honor Gabby in everyday life? Is there something that you think that would make Gabby happy with how people are just saying her name? And what would it mean to you, and what's the best way for them to honor Gabby in your opinion, Nicole?
Just living life to the fullest, living your dream, being kind, just do the best that you can every day, because you know tomorrow's not promised.
Tara, Joe?
Well, Gabby loved to take pictures, so take pictures, because sometimes you don't know if that's the only thing you're going to have. She always, every time I was with her, it was, another selfie. So it's just, I'm happy that I have those.
Yeah, I'd go with, listen, if you have a dream, try and follow it. You don't know how much time you have, and you want to make sure you enjoy every moment. So and me and Gabby used to use the phrase, you think of tomorrow, but you live for today. That's it in a nutshell.
I'd like to end out here. I want to give the three of you, first and foremost, just the warmest thank you for spending some portion of your Tuesday talking to our audience, because let me just try to be a lens to describe for a moment just how much love that there has been in the social media comment section for you two over the last 60 days. It has been unlike anything that I have ever seen in my broadcasting career. I've never seen people rally behind a family like they have in our social media comment section. I'm used to doing live streams where things can get very divisive, very polarized, where people are talking on one end of the spectrum and shouting at the other, and it gets back and forth, and it can get nasty quickly. But with this story, the amount of people that have gravitated to your family has been unlike anything I've ever experienced. And so to everybody who passed along hashtag AJB questions and comments, everybody on Facebook and on Twitter and YouTube, the channels, TikTok, even Discord, Reddit, just a huge thank you, because it's the people out there that are asking these right questions that are the ones that are really trying to make a difference, and the right kind of difference in this world. I'd like to end out here by giving the three of you just an opportunity to, we've talked about, and we've all been guilty of it. It comes down to all of us whether it's the media or whether it's people who have been following this story. I think that it's so easy to get caught up in Gabby Petito as a missing person, or something, or that something terrible happened to Gabby Petito, and people who view her as a victim. And I would like to just give you three the opportunity here, with how much she has touched the world and how much she has touched people around the world. I'd like to give you three the opportunity to share something about Gabby that is special to you, that speaks to who she was in life rather than who she is now afterwards. And Nicole, if you'd like, I'll start with you. Just, is there something special that you want the world to know about Gabby, about your daughter?
Remember her as the free spirit you see in her fun YouTube video. That was who she was and who she loved to be. She loved to travel, and just remember her as, I think of her now as an angel who's touching the whole world and helping so many people. And I don't want to view her in that negative light. I only see her in a positive way now.
Tara?
Well, she's definitely a bright light. When she was with us, she was always a bright light. She'd come to see us. It was just, her smile would just resonate throughout the house. We'd all just want to just flock to her, because she was just so beautiful as a person, inside and out.
I just would hope people would be respectful of other people. Make sure to give them the time that they deserve. Make sure that they feel, the love, because she liked to show everybody, that she cared genuinely. And that's probably one of the reasons that, we are where we are, is because people probably just saw that, instantly. So be respectful to others, care about others, and good things will happen. That's it. Because that's what's got to happen. Good things will come when you're good to people. So let's hope we can make some good changes, because Lord knows we need.
Joe Petito, Tara Petito, and Nicole Schmidt joining us here, everybody, on WFLA Now. I put out on Twitter last night that we were going to try to get to some video messages. We don't have time for the video messages here on this live stream. I'd like to just kind of show, if I can here for a second, just some of the ones that did come in, very touched. Some of the people that sometimes just a keyboard isn't enough, especially with a story that strikes a chord with people so much emotionally. And people who have been sending in video messages from around the world. What we're going to do is we're going to assemble a few of these together, put a few of them together. I'll share them out on my WFLA JB Twitter account. But we did receive messages like these just from around the world, people who wanted to say and vocalize their love and their support for Gabby's family. And we don't have time for it here on this particular live stream, but what we will do is we will, again, share it out on Twitter later on, so that people who wanted to say to Gabby's family and express that amount of love and support, that they absolutely have the opportunity to do so. One last time, a big thank you to Joe Petito, Tara Petito, and Nicole Schmidt joining us.
And thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, guys. Yeah. And thank you to everybody out there. Oh my God, you're all amazing.
I'll just give the floor is yours for the three of you. If there's anything else that you would like to add, I don't want to hang up the Zoom call so if there's any one thing that you would like to get out while we have, again, an international audience here across all of our social media platforms. Nicole, is there anything else that you would like to add while you have the opportunity to do so?
I think we said a lot of it. I think that we need to focus on the goals that we have for the foundation and helping people. It's baby steps. It's going to take us a long time, and we're going to work really hard. And that's our promise to everyone, that we're going to make these changes, and we'll fight to the end.
Tara and Joe?
Yeah, there you go.
With what Nikki just said, it does take time. So please be patient with us. We are working as hard as we can to get the awareness out there.
That's interesting. It's interesting, right? I'm not a patient person. Some things, are some things you would like to see, happen faster.
Yesterday.
You'd like to see some things happen faster, that just makes sense. But there are processes that have to be followed for obvious reasons. So we're doing just that, and we are doing everything we can, and just be good to everybody. If you see something, say something, help people. If we do that, we will make this world a better place, and we'll take that number and keep expanding it to where we don't have to have these conversations anymore, because we are doing so much, and we're on the right path. Until then, just keep talking about it, because we need to make that change.
We will always update on our page, our foundation page. So, go to GabbyPetitoFoundation.org to find out any information, because we'll keep updating it.
Go check out the GabbyPetitoFoundation.org. Follow. They're all very, very, very easy to find on social media, folks. And they're going to be talking more and more, I'm sure, in the weeks and months ahead about what the Gabby Petito Foundation is going to be doing in the world. The last comment that we'll throw up here is from Kate for Peace on YouTube. #KJB from Denmark. I send lots of love and prayers for everyone. Wish you all the best with the Gabby Petito Foundation.
Thank you.
Yeah, it is. Again, just a big thank you to all the commenters that have been joining us here. We can't ever get to every #AJB comment in the social media comment section, but we appreciate everybody commenting along here with us. Joe, Tara, and Nicole, I'm going to be staying on our WFLA Now stream for just a few more minutes, so you are more than welcome to, of course, hop off the Zoom call, and I'll chat with you here in a little bit. And again, a huge thank you for spending a part of your Tuesday with us.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you
so much.
Bye, guys.
Bye, you guys. All right, back here with you live, everybody, on WFLA Now. And yes, it's all about Gabby. What it comes down to first and foremost is that this has always been about what was the reason that so many people followed this story. They wanted to know what happened to Gabby. And at the core of it all was Gabby Petito's family, who from the very beginning were just trying to do everything they could to find Gabby, and what they were trying to do to be part of the Justice for Gabby cause that so many of you have been part of course, online. We've got, of course, additional coverage on Gabby Petito on the story on WFLA.com, the WFLA app. If you're joining us on Facebook Live, on YouTube Live, you can click on the link in the description of this video. It'll take you over to WFLA.com where you can read the very, very latest. And let me just share with you really quickly that this story, of course, WFLA is here in Tampa Bay, on the Gulf Coast side of Florida. This is a story that hits home for us because Northport and Sarasota County and very much right here in our area. So we're very much staying on this story. While things have gone quiet from an official standpoint, from a law standpoint, I can speak for myself personally, still trying to make those phone calls, still trying to submit those emails and those inquiries, trying to get answers, because the public deserves answers. No one deserves answers more than Gabby's family, who you just heard from. But we are still remaining vigilant as far as pursuit of fact in this story, and I give you my word that we will continue to do so. I'll continue to post any and all updates that we receive on the WFLA Facebook page, the WFLA JB Facebook page, Twitter, and YouTube as well. I would also like to share that I did extend an invitation, we extended an invitation to the laundries, to Chris and Roberta Laundry. I did hear back from Stephen Bertolino, the attorney representing Chris and Roberta Laundry. I told them that we were going to be having an interview with Gabby's family this Tuesday, November 16th, and wanted to extend the same opportunity to the laundries to speak. I did receive a response from the family through Stephen Bertolino, the attorney. They declined the request. They passed along just a very brief remark declining the request to be interviewed, to no surprise, but of course always going about things the way that we can to pursue fact and report on this story as truthfully, as transparently, and as honestly as possible. So just wanted to share with our audience that family declined our interview request, even though we're right here in Tampa. It's an hour drive roughly to Northport. Make it down there pretty quickly. We would be more than, of course, we would like to hear from them. We would very much like to hear from that family and ask them some questions, but they have declined our interview requests. The latest for you on WFLA.com, the WFLA app. Here on WFLA now, we can't go live on Instagram, so I'm going to hop on Instagram here in a little bit to talk with my Instagram audience on my WFLA JB Instagram account. We'll talk. We'll just kind of have a little bit of a chat about what we have learned in this interview, and just if you want to share any more feedback on what you think of the live stream here today, and what you think of Gabby Petito's family and Gabby Petito's, now the Gabby Petito Foundation. So I'll be hopping over to my WFLA JB Instagram account in a little bit here for a chat, and I'll continue, of course, to report on this story with as much transparency as humanly possible as we pursue fact in the Gabby Petito story. To everybody joining us here on WFLA Now, thanks so much. As a reminder, the very latest for you is on WFLA.com, the WFLA app. Actually, that is the wrong headline. That was another story that we were covering, but the latest for you is on WFLA.com, the WFLA app. Thanks so much for being with us here, everybody. A big thank you again to the entire Gabby Petito family, to Nicole Schmidt, Joe Petito, and Tara Petito. A big thank you to them, and a thank you to you, wherever you were watching from around the world. Thanks for joining us here live on WFLA Now.